What's going on? Welcome back to another weekly training. I'm Lars Hedenborg, founder of Real Estate B School. And this training is all about, without sounding preachy, because I've made all the mistakes you could possibly make when it comes to routines. Some of them help us, some of them hurt us, but this is all about healthier routines and a happier life as a result. So you guys know I'm going to share my slides to keep me on track here. And I want to start out with a little bit of a conversation here. Your ability to succeed in really anything in life, whether it's your physical body, in your business, in relationships, it's all about the habits, which ultimately are the routines you do on a regular basis. So I have done these things with focus, consistency, and persistency. And I've gotten away from some of these routines. So I've firsthand felt like, what it's like to be in a routine that serves me versus out of a routine that doesn't serve me. So I'm going to pass on, as I always do, the good, bad, ugly about my journey as it relates to any topic I talk about. I think there's a lot of folks out there, when you look at them, you're like, man, that guy's got it all together. That girl's got it all together. And sometimes we feel a little bit less than, a little bit like we don't have anything figured out. So I want to make sure I avoid that. If you're not in our free Facebook group, you owe it to yourself to get into Real Estate Business Builders. All of our past trainings are in there. There's a bunch of free giveaways in there as well. That community is there to serve you in your business and in your life, to live an amazing life that is the result of having built a sustainable and highly leveraged business. So let's get the party. Actually, you guys probably know about me at this point. I've sold a lot of real estate. I have helped thousands of agents in Real Estate B School. I've done well financially. I have really figured out the relationship between time and money. So I'm really leveraged, and I've made all the mistakes. So let's get into it here. So healthier routine, happier life. As we try to do with all our trainings, we put together some free resources. So please make sure you grab a copy of the Workplace Wellness Handbook. Just copy well-being wherever you're consuming this, whether it's in Facebook or YouTube or LinkedIn. Wherever you're consuming this training, just make the comment well-being, and my team will get you a copy of that handbook. So Oprah Winfrey, she has come from very challenging circumstances to create quite a brand for herself. I don't know how many billions she's worth, but it's multiple billions, I believe. And I believe she has some good things going in terms of the balance she's created for herself and her public. She's been really public with her struggles with some of these things as well. So she says, you can have it all. You just can't have it all at once. Really, really cool. So why does this matter? Simply put, your health is the foundation that fuels everything else outside of my faith. And arguably some of my relationships, my family, if I'm not grounded in my faith, I don't know if you share a similar faith, but the next most important thing is my physical body, making sure I pay attention to my physical body so that I have the energy and vitality to be able to show up the way that I want for my spouse, to be able to show up for my children who are 13 and 15 and have dreams that, I'm helping sort of guide them toward things that are important to them, and to be able to show up in other relationships with my mom or my sister, or to have fun and travel and do all the adventures. So it leads to higher engagement and higher productivity. Taking care of your health and building these habits makes you more productive. And, if you can't find that balance between your routine, your goals, and your well-being, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the thing I pride myself on, is helping agents achieve a level of freedom that is uncommon in our industry: financial freedom, time freedom, and freedom from stress. So where do we start here? So it comes down to planning. When you think of an area of your life, in this case, it's the habits around your health. You've got to come up with a plan that's sustainable. It could be as simple as, identifying healthier places to eat, or meal prepping, and not, just kind of going about your day and having meals on the go. And a lot of times those meals are unhealthy, or we're consuming too much caffeine, or too much sugar. Maybe we're making one or two extra Starbucks stops a day that we probably shouldn't be making. So we want to make sure we implement these routines in a consistent and sustainable way into our lives. And that's really the most important part of it. And a lot of it comes down to something as simple as making sure that we have time blocked in our calendar to be able to do the things that matter when it comes to building some strength in this foundational layer of health and healthier habits. So, like I said earlier, and I'm going to give an example that literally, um, with my physical health, I tend to do things with grand gestures, and what I mean by that is that I was never a runner, and I decided that I was going to take control of my health, and I was going to not just run a little bit. I was going to run a marathon, right? So, in true Lars grand gesture sort of approach, I, found an accountability partner. We printed out, I think it was a 16-week training plan, from couch to running a sub 4 hour marathon. And if you run a marathon and you're faster than 4 hours, I commend you. Um, but after I was done with the marathon, and I didn't hit 4 hours, I was man, I had nothing at mile 19. I barely dragged myself across the line. I did 4 hours and 19 minutes. Uh, for 18 months after that marathon, I did not run even a little bit. I gave up running. So rather than becoming a runner and running a little bit each day and taking this long term approach to a healthier habit, I sprinted, got exhausted, and gave it up. So I trained for 6 months and I took 18 months off. Do you think the approach of, doing a little bit of running, maybe 20 miles a week for 2 years was healthier than, 6 months of getting up to 50, 55 miles a week to train for a one-time marathon that was not about a sustainable, healthier practice? So you want to make sure that you're going after this thing a little bit opposite what I just said there, but the example still holds true. You don't want to do the grand gestures. You want to take a long-term view here. So there are a bunch of statistics around, even from like just the psychology standpoint. 3 out of 5 Americans say that the work they do, and I believe it's 5 out of 5 in real estate, but the work that they do is a significant source of stress, right? Just think of all the work we do as real estate agents. It's got to be way higher for real estate agents. But even in the general workforce, 60% of folks are impacted. Their life is impacted by their work in a stressful way, in a not good way. Um, Other research, and this is probably true if you're really getting after it in real estate and you don't have leverage, that those working 11 plus hours per day are 2 to 3 times more likely to experience depression. So if you're getting after it and you're a top producing real estate agent, it's likely that you're putting in longer hours, and you're 2 to 3 times more likely that the work you do is going to lead you into a level of depression. And we don't want that. So uh, let's talk about how we turn this around. If you're not in a good place right now when it comes to some of these habits, we don't want you to get into that bad place. We don't want you to experience stress, or even worse, sink into some kind of depression. It is real. I totally get it. I've been at this for a long time. Thousands of folks have come through our world. A lot of them experience this really bad place that we don't want you to get to. So, um, even just a few minutes a day of baby steps around implementing new, healthier habits, whether it's go for a walk at lunch, or, um, it could be working out 2 or 3 times a week versus the grand gesture of working out every day and working out for, an hour or two every day. It doesn't have to be that. You don't have to spend a bunch of time doing a bunch of different things. You're just going to get burned out, and it's not going to be a sustainable thing. So the tiniest change can wholeheartedly benefit your day-to-day energy and vitality. So we have to start with the small stuff. Like I said, it could be something as easy as taking phone calls when you're standing up. So let's say you lead generate every day. Your new business development is a foundation of any successful real estate business, and you lead generate every day, and you do lead follow up, lead generation, lead follow up. I'm not talking necessarily cold calling, but real estate's a contact sport. So let's say you commit to only, while you're doing that core business activity, hopefully 5 days a week, you're standing, right? Not only is it healthier, they say sitting is the new smoking. It just crushes your organs. And Google that. Sitting is the new smoking, right? Or statistics around sitting, for 8+ hours a day. Take your calls walking around or on a headset, Bluetooth headset, where when you get someone on a call, you're sort of engaging and you're walking around. Make sure you stand up. I've got an Apple Watch. I track my workout calories, my workout minutes, and the amount of individual 60-minute periods where I stand for at least a minute. I think I forget how it works, but anyway, I've got to get to 12. So right now, my rings, you can see them here. I don't know if you can actually see them. Siri's trying to talk. 860 calories, 79 workout minutes, and 7 out of 12 so far. So maybe get something simple like an Apple Watch and just mind your rings on a daily basis. Try to get to 10,000 steps, right? I don't know if there's a lot of science behind that, but that's one metric every day that you could easily track on an Apple Watch, or I've got an Aura ring here as well that you could, if you're into wearable technology. So stretching, something I am not good at. It's really important for circulation. So especially if you're sitting or you're not mobile for most of the day, you want to make sure you do maybe a simple stretching activity. There's easy, like even Apple Plus Health, I think it's called, or Apple, I forget what it's called. You can, on my phone, I can pull up like all different workouts, stretching, yoga. You don't have to have a physical gym to do some of these things. So there are little things that you can do that can get massive results. Even breathing. So I'm not suggesting you read the book if you just trust me that breathing and oxygen intake is really, really important. I tend to have really shallow breaths. So if you're like that, there's a book that I read called Breath. I think it's literally called Breath. And it goes through like the detrimental effects of shallow breathing or even breathing through your mouth when you sleep. And there's just studies after study that show that breathing, and it could be a simple, they call it box breathing. You breathe in for 4 or 5 seconds. You hold it for 4 or 5 seconds. You release it for 4 or 5 seconds. Then you hold it on the bottom for 4 or 5 seconds. Deep breath for 4 or 5 seconds. Hold it in for 4 or 5 seconds. Release it for 4 or 5 seconds. And then at that bottom, hold it for 4 or 5 seconds. It's just a box breath, right? Doing that for a couple, 3 minutes, a few times a day will radically transform even just the way you feel. And there's a whole bunch of different breathing exercise you can do that. Take no equipment, not a lot of time, just a little bit of forethought, even just a reminder on your phone to do them. I'm trying to think of what I think it's an app on the Apple iPhone that reminds me. It's a mindfulness app, I think, on the Apple, not the iPhone, on the Apple Watch. That reminds me to breathe, and it just takes you through a 1-minute breathing exercise, and you can program it to remind you a few times a day. Could be something as simple as that. And then probably the most important thing, and the thing that we struggle as a society with, not only getting quality sleep, but when you're stressed and when you're on screen, up until when you go to bed, insomnia, your ability to not get in a good rhythm with your sleep, The number one thing, well, there's probably four number one things, but one of the top things you can do in terms of the habits and routines that bring health, ultimate health, is make sure you get, I think, at least 7.5 hours of sleep. I personally need a minimum of 7.5. I do better with 8. I would love an extra 2 hours and be able to hack it. You cannot hack less sleep. If you're following anyone online that says you can hack your sleep, unless you're doing something extreme, there are some guys that are like really into health hacking, and they're longevity guys, and they've got their room super dark at the right temperature, everything's optimized, and like you can go crazy on it and maybe cut off an hour and still get the benefits, but your brain cleanses itself. It's called what is it called, autophagy? No, I don't think it's autophagy. I forget what it's called, but you've got to get sleep. That's what I wear the Aura ring. This tracks my sleep. So make sure you're in a position where you're getting good sleep. Get off screens early. Get all the light out of your room. I have it's called Eight Sleep, EIGHT Sleep, where my wife likes a hot bed. The studies show that better sleep comes with having a cooler bed. So that is one of the things you can do as well to sort of hack your sleep. So if you want more tips, make sure you grab the wellness guide. Just type well-being wherever you're looking or consuming this training. And the only thing I'll ever have to offer you is a conversation about your business. So if you know you want to go further, faster in your real estate business, build an amazing business that supports an even more amazing life, grab a free business growth assessment. Just go to rebsgrowthassessment.com. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's in the show notes. You can just plug into our calendar. We're going to cover exactly where your business is right now, where you want it to be in the future, and what's holding you back. We want you to predictably scale your business. This is no gimmicks, no hype. This is just the stuff that works. So go to rebsgrowthassessment.com. We'll see you in the next training. I hope that this served you. I hope none of this came off as preachy or I figured all this stuff out. I struggle through all of this stuff on a regular basis. So much love, much respect. We'll see you on the next training. Bye-bye.